On this season of One Lap, 4 of us ride 1,000 miles around the perimeter of Michigan's Lower Peninsula.
I love riding on 2 wheels, and I love Michigan. I thought, what a great way to go see it all.
Kind of like the mix of guys this year. It provided a different viewpoint of the trip.
We wanted to throw a little element in there and camp, kind of my idea, which due to the weather, I wish it wasn't.
Long for this place for so long. Now I lay me down and be long. And I breathe in the air fresh from the blessed Midwest. I am held by the forest where I go for rest, and washed by the waters of Lake Michigan. And wherever I go, I will return again to mine.
So it was really nice to wake up on day 3, very much rested and ready to go. And day 3 was going to be a big day because we were heading into Detroit.
We had planned on our next stop was to visit Motown. We were going through Detroit and through some of the neighborhoods, and on the headset I hear Bill getting a little nervous.
Hey guys, Bill's a little scared.
He is the slowest runner, so if it's a chase, he's first.
I want to come back tonight at midnight.
Some of the neighborhoods were less than to be desired. I mean, there were some really, really rundown neighborhoods. I mean, I remember I was terrified to ride through there. I mean, I was not going to stop if there was a red light.
Definitely a fun experience for me, and if it were anything, just to hear Bill squirm a little bit.
I did not feel safe going through there.
Our first stop was really a cool place. I mean, I'd never been there before.
We hit up the Motown Museum. So cool. I mean, they have Michael Jackson's white glove, his hat. There's so much in there. It's amazing. When you look at it from the outside, you really can't fathom what's on the inside.
It was neat. We got to learn a little bit about Motown. We got to learn about all the artists there. I mean, Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder are the 2 that I always remember.
At the very end of it, they allow you to go down in Studio A, and it's very much exactly the way it was.
That's where they did a lot of the recording for these artists back in the 50s and 60s. And I remember there was like a grand piano and a drum set.
It just gives you goosebumps to be in a place that relevant and that historic.
From Motown then, we're heading on over to the Detroit Tigers game.
About to see some Tigers, man. It's gonna be awesome.
I hope we get in.
We bought some nose-bleeding, seats, and when we walked in, all of a sudden Ron was like texting with somebody.
So I have a friend who's in section 141. She said that we could all sit by her. It's down by third base. Her and her son Liam are here all the time, and yeah, they're gonna get us hooked up. Come on,
Hi.
You know John?
Yeah.
It's our camera guy Alex.
Hi, Alex.
It's Katie. This is Liam, her son. He's got autographs from all the players,
Nice.
all the goodies.
Hi.
That's Bill.
Bill.
He's a rider. That's Mike. Hi, bud. Then that's Shelby.
Katie and Liam, who are avid Tigers fans, have some really great seats down on the third baseline.
Eat 'em up, Tigers! Eat 'em up! Eat 'em up, Tigers! Eat 'em up!
She talked to the usher, and they hooked us up with some seats right along that third baseline, and man, what a fantastic view. And Katie and Liam, thanks for that. We had a really great time.
we were about to leave, and Katie said, hey, do you want to go up by the Fox Sports booth, and do you want to meet Craig Monroe? I know. Yeah, of course we do. So we all went up there. I was like, hey, I got a ball. And I said, would you be willing to sign my ball? And he was like, absolutely. So we all went up the ramp and got our pictures taken with the crew there and Craig Monroe. Just a real special time. I got to catch my breath.
That was really kind of a cool experience, the whole Tigers game.
Just being with the guys and some of the experiences in there was a good time. I like seeing the Tigers.
So we left Tiger Stadium and we were going to go to Eastern Market, a place that I wasn't really familiar with, but it was a place that Ron and John were very familiar with. It's a very photographic, very artsy area.
There's art, there's farm, there's food, there's markets. For us, we're just kind of cruising through and looking at the murals. As a photographer, I went over there and I photographed some of the murals. Really cool. If you can ever get through there, artists from all over the world come. It's Krylon art, and it's literally, legitimately the sides of buildings, and it's just beautiful.
So after the Eastern Market, we decided to head north. We had about an hour and a half to 2 hour ride to our campsite. It was by far going to be the nicest campsite that we had in the entire journey, located right on the St. Clair River. And after a very, very busy day, we were definitely ready for a good night's sleep.
Good morning, everybody. This is John with One Lap. We are at, where are we? Algonic?
No idea.
Yeah. Algoniac State Park. I just woke up a little while ago. So yeah, we're live, and we're now on international data roaming plans because that's Canada across that river there. And hey, Micah, good morning. You can see we've got some rain that we got last night. All the scooters are wet, and we're just kind of figuring that out. I'm gonna go dry off as much of my stuff as I can and go get on the road. So y'all be cool out there. See you soon.
We left Algoniac and we were heading up into the thumb of Michigan. We had 3 awesome days of weather, and then day 4. It was a challenging experience knowing that the weather was on the way.
Not only did we get cold, downpouring rain, but we also had to deal with the winds. And I know for a lot of the guys, they probably hadn't ridden in that before. Now, I didn't have the best rain gear, but it kept me, fairly dry. Other people had a little bit more problem with their rain gear because it wasn't really for riding. It was more for maybe fishing or something like that.
I realized that my inner thigh area was starting to get wet from the rain with a rain suit on, and I could not for the life of me figure out why. So I negotiated and realized that it was coming down the shield and dripping into the rain suit and making its way down. And I remember clutching my collar and driving 65 miles an hour against the wind into the rain, and that lasted 40 minutes.
So in total, we rode for about 2 hours in the rain. And then once we got to the thumb near Port Austin, the rain started letting up. So we pulled over at the restaurant and had a little breakfast.
Let's bring another plate. We're gonna go. What's the
I think the last 2 hours of riding in the rain made us a little bit crazy.
Gotta get a little weird, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it if you're doing it. Dude, gotta get crazy. Shit's in my face. Thank you. Mike, the all-made funny face.
What camera?
This one right here.
This one? Isn't that funny enough?
Pretty much.
Okay, that's what I thought. After breakfast, we jumped back on our scooters and started heading west.
We're going to be heading into the Saginaw Bay area, which I was looking forward to because that's my old stomping grounds there. The first order of business for Ron was to get a new rain suit, and Mike had to do an oil change. He was due for an oil change.
You know, he's breaking in a brand new bike, and he had just over 1,000 miles on a brand new bike, and you have to change the oil.
Did you check on how much you need in there? Bill, I'm just assuming 1 quart, because I relied on your expertise.
My expertise, the chief mechanic.
Being an Air Force mechanic, I helped Mike kind of change the oil.
After we got done with the oil change, we met up again at a restaurant that John was very familiar with.
We met at the original Tony's in Bay City. We had a really great lunch. It was steak sandwiches, just like I remember from growing up. And that's where all of the guys got to meet my mom and Roger, her husband. Bye, Mom.
Yep, don't get wet. After lunch, we got back on our bikes and headed north around Saginaw Bay.
We're heading to Linwood. That's where we're going to do our charter fishing.
Nolan Kamer, Farm Bureau Insurance Agency, stepped up and sponsored us.
We went up to Saginaw Bay fishing, and we decided we were going to kind of get our own dinner for the night. We're going to be manly men and go out there, and we're going to eat what we catch.
I got a problem. It's called I love to fish.
2.5? Wow.
Looked bleak at first. We weren't catching any fish, but those guys are pros. So Captain Ed and his first mate changed courses, and next thing we knew, we were catching fish.
Everybody caught fish. So not a lot, but enough. Definitely enough.
Yours first.
Captain Ed had a really good recommendation. There's a local restaurant there.
They will take your catch and cook it up for you, and we had a nice big feast.
After getting our bellies full and then hopping back on the road, we went up to Tawas City.
It was getting pretty cold that night, and we stayed at another campsite, and we buckled down for a cold night of sleeping.
The light is fading fast. From this old town we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for?
On the next episode, we get high, we get wet, and we get a little out of control. Join us on our adventure as we scooter around the northern coastline of Michigan's Lower Peninsula on one lap, fits like a glove.